My name is Steve Nussbaum. I'm honored to be a member of Foundations Church. I'm a ER physician. I've been practicing medicine for 30 plus years. Had been blessed with the opportunity to own a business, own my own urgent care centers, and then grow with the company that eventually bought us. And I've been really blessed to just see God's work in my life professionally. I love being part of this church. I remember sitting in this very room with you and a small group of people as we prayed about starting Foundations Church. I remember the very beginnings of this church, and I'm so proud of what God has done through your ministry and this church, in our community, and the support of the people that just rally around any of us when we need it. Became very evident to me a few weeks ago. A couple of years ago, my lovely daughter convinced me to start going to a gym, get in shape, and for the last 2 years, it's what I've been doing. And I go to a gym in Jenks called Oklahoma Fit. March 21st was a normal day for me. I'm going to struggle doing this. It was a normal day for me. I went to the gym at 5:30 in the morning and started my warm-up, started doing what I do. We started with a jog, and we were carrying a medicine ball. I had a partner, and we're passing the ball back and forth, and we're going to run maybe a half mile. I've done that countless times over the last 2 years, and started that day, and at 5:40, my world changed. I remember feeling a little tired, and I remember the guy I was running with got ahead of me a couple of steps, and he turned around and he said, "Steve, do you want me to take the ball?" And I don't remember anything after that. So everything I share about what happened next was what's been told to me since. But I put my hands to my knees, and I turned to my right side and fell into the grass. And there were a couple of paramedics that were working out with us at the gym, which was another God-ordained moment, but they immediately ran to me, and I had no pulse, nothing. I had gone into complete cardiac arrest, and I've been in the best shape I've been in for years, and I dropped. I went down, and we're right outside the gym. Thankfully, Josh I had the foresight to buy an AED, a defibrillator that he had in the gym in case something like this, heaven forbid, would happen. And so one of the firemen ran in, got that. The other one started CPR. They hooked it up. It shocked me. They continued CPR. They said they did it for about 6 minutes and got a pulse back. I woke up in the emergency room. I don't even know what time that was, but I woke up in the ER, and I still really didn't know what had happened. But I survived an event that most people don't survive. I know all the statistics of what an event like this means. I've done this for a living for 30 years, and people don't survive these events out in the field. An out-of-hospital cardiac arrest has a less than a 10% chance of survival. If you have access to all the right equipment and all the right personnel, those odds go up a little bit. But according to the science, according to the world's perspective of this, I should have died, and I didn't. There were so many things that had to be God ordained. People have said, "Well, weren't you lucky?" And I don't believe for a second I was lucky. I believe God had a plan, and this happened for a purpose. Normally we have a 5 o'clock class and a 6 o'clock class, but because it was spring break and people were gone, they combined it into a 5:30 class. Those paramedics normally work at the 5, and I normally work out at the 6, but we were together that day. Wouldn't have been a case on a middle of the week day. They were there, they were close. A gym that size that wouldn't typically have an AED in there, they don't need to. It's not a big fitness center, but he did. and I went down right in front of the building so they could get to everything quickly. Every minute reduces your chance of survival that you don't get that shock. They said I was shocked within 3 minutes. You know, at the hospital, they ran every test on me. They did a cardiac catheterization. All my vessels are clean. They did studies of the heart valves and the muscles themselves. Everything's normal. It's a purely just a cardiac arrest where the electrical system, the pacemaker system of my heart completely messed up. And I'm alive. And I believe God's got a reason for this, because I just, why do I survive something like that, and then it not mean anything? I just know that somehow, some way, God's going to use this, because I got a second birthday. I've got all these new opportunities. I've got this greater appreciation for so many little things that you kind of take for granted. My family, my church, my friends. Shortly after this happened, my son and his wife had twins. Then I could have missed that. And I don't know why. I don't know what this is about. I'm still kind of just wondering, what's God going to do with this? I just know that, people have been impacted by it already. I've been able to tell my story, and it's about God, not about luck. I know that businesses have purchased the AEDs. Large institutions that have heard about my story have gone out and done things for the health of their families. We bought one for the church. I'm honored that this event is producing that kind of thing, so that hopefully maybe someday somebody else can survive a situation like this. But it gives me a very unique perspective on things that maybe used to bother me before. I'm like, that's not that big a deal right now. Things that I thought were worth getting frustrated about. I'm not saying I don't get frustrated about some things, but it definitely makes me reevaluate what should matter. And I'm just so grateful, so blessed that I'm here talking to you. There's been a lot going on in my life with my work situation. Lots of talks about mergers and buyouts and different things with the company that I work for that, for a period of time, I didn't know what my future looked like from a professional perspective. And it's all playing out great, but I spent a lot of time worrying about that. And I think this really has caused me to realize God's got it. I mean, if he could orchestrate events that allowed me to live something I shouldn't have lived through, why am I worried about something as minor as my job? Why do I get stressed or anxious over things I can't even control anyhow? Because I'm a guy, and we like to fix things, and we like to see a problem and go attack it and take it on. And some of those I can't attack. Some of those I have to let go. And I realized, God clearly is strong, smart enough, big enough, amazing enough to handle something as major as me being alive today. Why do I worry about the other stuff? It's going to be taken care of. Whatever happens is what God wants to happen. And it doesn't mean I just sit around and don't take ownership of that or responsibility to do what I'm called to do. But I don't need to worry so much because, it's like you've said, if God is in it, I am, unbeatable and unstoppable. And hopefully my heart is unstoppable too, So, this has really changed my perspective on a lot of things. I definitely have an appreciation for little things that were kind of just incidental to me before, like my, spending time with my family, sitting there and just looking at my wife and just just knowing that so many of these things that just are everyday things so easily could have been gone. And trying to create balance. I'm a pretty type A driven guy, and I don't like to just sit around and not do anything. And I'm always trying to look for that next thing to do. And maybe it's okay to not do that every day, and to just kind of enjoy the blessing of having that day. And that's going to be a long journey for me, because that's not how I'm wired. But I'm thinking about it now a lot more than I ever have before. And I'm thinking about, I'm at an age in my life where I'm not done. I don't want to be done. I could have been, but I'm also in that window of time that I'm heading into that direction of my life where it's just different, and I'm trying to create a thought process that will allow me to spend more time enjoying things that God's blessed me with, and opportunities and people that God's blessed me with, and not worrying so much about success. From a worldly perspective, success means different things to me now, and I've had well-meaning people come up to me and say, this must be God's way of telling you to slow down. And I don't agree. I don't think that I'm supposed to slow down. I think I'm supposed to reevaluate what my energies are spent on. I'm not going to sit around and just wait for stuff to happen now. I'm just going to probably be looking at different things to happen. And I'm still going to attack my day and attack the opportunities that I'm given. I'm just going to be more open to different opportunities than the ones I think are the most important. That's what I believe part of this is about. Part of it, I may never know what it's about. I just know that as long as God can be glorified in this, and anybody can be impacted or challenged or just awakened because of what I've gone through, then to God be the glory.